A Fool. Brisbane. By Francis William Lauderdale Adams. He asked me of my friend, a clever man. Such various talent, business, journalism. A pen that might some day have sent out leaders from our greatest newspapers. Yes, all this, I said. And yet he will not rise? He'll stay at comp. A printer all his life? Dash. I said, just that, a workman all his life. But, as my questioner was a businessman, one of the sons of capital, a sage whose practicality saw I can suppose quite to his nose tip even his finger ends, I vouchsafed explanation. This young man, my friend, was born and bred a workman. All his heart and soul, and men have hearts and souls. Other than those the doctor proses of, the parson prates of, and both make their trade. Were centered in his comradeship and love. His friends, his chums, were workmen, and the girl he wooed, and made a happy wife and mother, had heart and soul like him in whence she sprung. Observe now, when he came to think and read, he saw, it seemed to him he saw, in what capitalists, employers, men like you, think and call justice in your interdealings, some slight mistakes, I fancy he'd say, wrongs. Whereby his order suffered. So he wonders, cannot we change this? And he tries and tries, knowing his fellows and adapting all his effort in the channels that they know. You understand? He's only an unionist. Now for the second point. This man believes that these mistakes, these wrongs, we'll pass the word, spring from a certain thing called competition, which you, and I, know is a God-given thing whereby the fittest get up to the top, that's I, or you, and tread down all the others. Well, this man sees how by this God-given thing he has the chance to use his extra wits and clamber up. He sees how others have, like you, or me. My father's father's father was a market gardener and, I trust, a good one. He sees, moreover, how perpetually each of his fellows who has extra wits has used them as the fox fallen in the well used the confiding goat, and how the goats more and more wallow there and stupefy, robbed of the little wit the hapless crowd had in their general haplessness. Well, then this man of mine, this is against all law, human, divine and natural, I admit, prefers to wallow there and not get out, except they all can. I've made quite a tale about what is quite simple. Yet 'tis curious, as I see you hold. Now frankly tell me, will you, what do you think of him? He is a fool. He is a fool? There is no doubt of it. But I am told that it was some such fool came once from Galilee, and ended on a criminal's cross outside Jerusalem, and that this fool, he and his criminal's cross, broke up an empire that seemed adamant, and made a new world which, renewed again, is Europe still. He is a fool. And it was some such fool drudged up and down the earth these later years, and wrote a book the other fools bought up in tens of thousands, calling it a gospel. And this fool too, and the fools that follow him, or hold with him, why, he and they shall all end in the madhouse, or the gutter, where they'll chew the husk of their mad dreams, and die. For what are their follies but dreams? They have done nothing, and never will. ... One moment. I have just a word to say. How comes it, tell me, friend, 6 weeks ago a comp was sent a packing for a cause his fellows thought unjust, and that same night, or, rather, the next morning, in comes one to tell you, quite politely, that unless that comp was setting at his frame, they feared one of our greatest newspapers would not go that day a harbinger of light and leading to gladden and instruct its thousands? And, if I remember right, it did, and so did he, that wretched comp set at his frame, and does. How came it also that 3 months ago your brother, the shipowner, sacked a man out of his ship, and bade him go to hell? And in the evening up came 2 or 3, discreetly asking him to state the cause? And when he said he'd see them with the other, videlicet, in hell, they said they feared, unless the other came thence, if he was there, and was upon his ship tomorrow morning, it would not sail. It did not sail till noon, and he sailed with it. But this is all beside the point. Our comp, who sweats there, and who will not write you, leaders, except to help a friend who's fallen ill, why, he, beyond a doubt he is a fool.